Hi everyone and welcome back to Summer of Series 12 in Forza Horizon 5. This is Road Endurance, the next seasonal championship in this week's festival playlist, and it's Horizon's take on endurance racing, which means we get to drive 5 races rather than 3. Not quite what I would think endurance racing is, and not quite what I would prefer. I would probably prefer longer races with more laps and some less restrictions on AI performance rather than more races, but I don't get to choose. It's not my call here. So off we go. We get to drive modern muscle cars in A class, which means the selection of your vehicles is dominated by rear wheel drive cars with more power than they can actually handle, but we counter that with a seasonal tune by Saino. It's a all-wheel drive swap, and I know some purists will now look at me and say, what the hell are you doing? Why are you messing up with nice cars? But really, it's just so much easier to drive, and there's enough carnage in general on the field in races like that, that adding more wheel spin and flying rear end of the car into the mix is not necessarily beneficial. So yeah, all-wheel drive swap, quite a bit of power, good speed, and that's all we need for this. Let's keep it easy and simple. As you can see, we went through most of the AI on the field, and we're gonna be ahead of the last one probably in the very beginning of the second lap. So in terms of the car performance, there's no problem whatsoever. It does what it needs, and we are quite high up on the roster with our teammates. There's oh wow, ooh, I'm not sure, was he just was that player just thrown off the checkpoint by another teammate? That's a shame. Or was it a mistake? I'm not sure. It happened way too fast for me to notice that, but I'm chasing our last teammate. The team scoring is fine, so we are doing quite good. Now obviously having 5 events in the championship is just another reason to do it in co-op, really, because then you only need to win 3, and most often you will win the first 3, cutting down the time required to complete these champs quite considerably. That's probably going to be, I know, minus extra 10 minutes or so. Well, maybe not particularly 10, but something along those lines. Obviously, if you do it solo, you have to do all 5 events regardless of the scores, so that's a little bit weird, but yeah, again, not something I have any choice in. The last lap of the race, we're scoring pretty nicely. I'm chasing this teammate, and I think I'm a little bit faster than them, so let's try to execute some come on, you didn't have to move towards me. Alright, let's back off a little bit and use a different chance to attack. We don't want any drama, especially with one AI just behind us. Well, not just behind us, far enough, but in the position behind us. So it would be quite stupid to fly off the checkpoint with 2 cars. Hey, come on. Okay, this... Right, I wasn't sure about the first move, them trying to block the racing line, whether it was intentional or not, but this here was definitely an intentional remming attempt, considering how close the cars are. This is not, yeah, look, he's just pushing me out of the corner, using me as a brake, so this is not nice. And yeah, we are approaching the very end of the first race, but we'll talk about it during the second race, because I have an opinion about drivers like that and driving like that, and I would like to share it. And now I'm actually thinking that the incident in the very beginning, where our teammate was flying across the track, wasn't accidental. It was probably similarly an attempt to ram, and unfortunately successful attempt. So one of our teammates, instead of scoring in the top 3, is scoring quite a bit below. But let's go for the second race, Bola Ocho circuit. Now we know we have a player to look out for, and here is a funny bit. that player won the previous race, obviously, so they probably think they've done good. But actually, all they did is shown to everybody how much of a moron they are, and the only reason they actually got to win the race is not because they drive well, but because other players decided not to destroy their own races while being also morons. Yeah, and the weirdest thing is an obvious idiot is happy with how much of an idiot they are. That's the thing about idiots. It's not just being stupid, it's also not being able to comprehend how stupid they are, not only to themselves but also how stupid they look in the whole grand scheme of things. Now look at this. Yeah, now clearly another car on the side. Yeah, I just don't want to fight with it because it makes no sense. As I like to say, tomorrow I'll forget about that guy and they still will be an asshole. So that's something. Let's see what happens in front. I think there's a same player in the first position right now who was part of the incident in the previous race. Yeah, there you go. Just rammed the poor guy into the wall absolutely intentionally. And again, normally I would write that off as a driver mistake, you know, not being able to brake and slamming into the wall too much with another car there. But it's the pattern of behavior that gives away. Oh, come on, man. Just a little bit more careful. I can understand the anxiety to catch up. Oh, okay. They're quitting. Now look, this is a prime example of how bad the bad behavior for the team is, because now not only we have an upset driver or multiple drivers who've been rammed off by the teammates, so that obviously leaves the overall impression of toxicity in the game, but we also have a high-scoring teammate quitting mid-championship because of one moron. What does it say to you? It says that such behavior, even when a moron wins the race because they're allowed to, it is still detrimental to the whole team. And yeah, I'll get one of the marshals to watch this video and see what their opinion is, whether these actions of this player are enforceable or not, because yeah, not the pleasant drive I like. But let's go for the third race though. I don't expect it to be any better, to be honest. Once you have it's like you can put any menu on the table, but once you put a turd in the middle, everything else is spoiled, just because there's no getting away from the fact there's a turd in the middle of the table. That's the same with the race like that. The energy level and the positivity just goes away, and the fun goes away. I've had, I don't know how many hundreds of races in Forza, and most of them are okay, this is purely my mistake. Obviously, there's let's recover some, and hopefully we won't have to go into fourth race. So now I need to do some catching up and pass at least some AIs. But yeah, I was saying that I've had, I don't know, hundreds of races, and most of them are very pleasant. And you do have collisions every now and then. You do have some close racing. Sometimes you do mistakes. Sometimes the collisions with other players on their court leave you outside of the checkpoint, and most of the time it's absolutely fine. But it's an intentional malicious activity that immediately creates really bad environment. So I can understand people who don't do co-op races just because of the players like that, because exactly why would you spend your own valuable time, which you plan to spend on entertainment, being upset and pissed off by some moron who thinks afterwards that they've done good. This is the funniest bit. That I'm pretty sure they think not only that they've done good, but I'm pretty sure somewhere on Discord or similar platform that person is now saying that they carried the whole team by winning the 3 races, even though if they were not there, the general result would be the same. The team would still win all the time, but everybody would be a little bit happier. Now, right, we made our way through a lot of AIs. I think we lost another human player. So the lobby there was 6 players is now 4. And again, I don't know. I've been too far back because of my hitting the wall corner in the beginning to see anything that happened in the front. But I wouldn't be too surprised if yet another player was rammed into the wall, but the same moron who's now driving in the first place, and decided that they've had enough and just quit the race altogether. Won't be a shocking revelation to me, which means somebody else, after doing 2 races or 2.5 races, has to start over again, and yeah, not having a good day there. Right, okay, that's the end of the road endurance. We won quite narrowly this time, but won 3 races out of 5, and that's enough to finish the festival playlist event. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it a bit more than I did. I have to say that's not my favorite way of racing, but yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.